Hey guys, it's your girl Jaylah from Cultura, and I'm here with more fabulous guests. We were trying to do like a little wrap off before, that's why I'm like in my singing mode. But I can't sing and I can't play instruments, so that's why I talk. So, Mr. Rapper, could you?
I'm not a rapper.
I'm gonna make him freestyle by the end of this. All right, guys, just your girl Jaylah. Now you gotta tell us who you are, what you do, and where you come from.
So my name's Kunal Gandhi. I play the saxophone, and I come from originally grew up in central New Jersey in the Princeton area.
Oh, you was in Jersey.
Jersey, yeah.
Jersey.
I live down here in Miami, Florida, where my family is, and I'm up in New York. Quite a bit, it just depends on the week.
You're an East Coast floater like me.
East Coast floater. I lived on the West Coast for a little bit, but moved around a lot over the years. San Francisco. Shout out to the Bay Area.
Oh boy.
And but I'm an East Coast boy at heart. I love Florida. I love the people down here. This is one of my favorite cities in the world.
It's like a little like New York and Jersey. We got a little bit of everything.
There's a lot of us down here.
A little bit.
A little bit.
It's like we kind of selfishly get a little bit of everything, and then we can walk away from it and go home. So tell us a little bit more about what you do in this tech world.
Absolutely. So, there's a couple things that I've been working on over the last few years. My biggest
Welcome to Tech Founding.
Yeah. my biggest priority and baby has been working on this company called Somatic Health. So we help people with injury prevention, rehabilitation, helping all kinds of people recover from injuries and help people prevent them, really.
Oh, because so I know like we work a lot with ed tech, and there's a lot of forms of tech. So I love hearing from the medical, health side of things. And prevention.
Yes.
That's such a big word. So that's a lot to fulfill. What does that really mean for you guys?
Yeah, it's a great question. So just a little background on my story. Growing up, I had a grandfather and a mother who, on opposite sides of the tree, both had strokes. And so I saw how difficult physical therapy was. And when, after taking care of these family members, I thought, let me try to take care of my health and think about prevention. So I did what a lot of people do. I started going to the gym. I started eating right.
Yeah, getting your physicals and, juicing and all that fun stuff. What is it? Fasting and juicing and cleansing.
Yeah. Yeah. So I got really active. And then after starting to train people on the internet, I think, Instagram was just kind of becoming a thing in terms of monetization. I started selling these workout programs on the internet, and then surely enough, 2 weeks before leaving for university, I ended up blowing a disc in my back.
Wow. And was it from one of your workouts?
Yeah, it was from one of my own workouts. So I clearly hadn't read the books well enough, but it made me realize that it can happen to anybody.
Yeah.
No matter how much you read, no matter how much you warm up and stretch. Yeah. Injury is just a huge problem. It's $1 trillion cost to U.S. businesses. About 4% of our GDP is spent on musculoskeletal injuries. And when you get hurt, you have these other sort of situations where you get diabetes. Sedentary behavior can lead to obesity. So
it's crazy because a lot of these things actually start from youth athletics.
Absolutely.
High school, playing college, travel soccer, travel baseball, travel football. They start kind of from there.
Absolutely. Wear and tear is a huge problem. And when people think of injuries, they think old people. Yeah. But it turns out about 40% of injuries are actually between ages 14 and 45. Wow. So ACLs are usually one of the common ones when you think about youth athletes in sports. Yeah. But lower back pain has been one of the crippling problems for athletes, but also again, like U.S. employers, global employers, people lifting boxes. If you're a truck driver, you go in and out of the truck. Healthcare workers is actually one of the highest cost. The nurses, big thank you to all of the people that do these things. But these nurses are lifting patients, they're hurting themselves, and so and it leads to burnout. whatever job function you're in, even if you're seated at a desk, tech neck's a huge problem now. And
even typing, like, like with carpal tunnel, because I know, like, my finger, and I don't even type like that, like, but even just being on your phone, like, people have their pinkies all weird, and then this stays here, and you're like all the time, but that's realistic. That's what the world we're living in.
Absolutely. So, and I think we all know someone or have been through it ourselves. And when we looked at what was out there in the market, you have sort of really physical therapy heavy and sort of rehab focused products, and then you had really fitness and wellness oriented products. But I hadn't, for someone like me who was young and dealing with these issues, I wanted to find something that kind of blended the two. My physical therapy sessions ran out. My insurance company stopped paying for my visits. So then I was like, well, I could go to a trainer, but a lot of this stuff that was out there wasn't necessarily medically driven or connecting the dots between what my physical therapist or my orthopedic surgeon wanted and what the
what the trainers actually knew, because they're trained to train people.
Yes.
They're not trained to train injuries.
Yes. And I don't think they're meant to train injuries, right? They want to help people with sustainable wellness and such,
regular things.
Yeah, day-to-day life. But I think recognizing that patients come in and clients come in and they they have pre-existing conditions.
Yeah.
So we all are dealing with something, and what Somatic Health, our company is called Somatic Health. What we've been trying to do is help people, again, prevent chronic disease and injury through movement as medicine and nutrition and proper sleep. But if you do have sort of an injury or a condition, we cover 1,000 ICD-10 based conditions that help the physicians, whether you're in primary care, orthopedic surgery, help you match your disease state with an exercise program.
So it's almost like you're coming into your physical already filled out your pre-existent.
Yes.
Or your current existent.
Yes.
Because pre sometimes is even way before the last time you even saw your primary. Because I'm pretty sure most people nowadays, especially past COVID, haven't seen anybody. Either they've seen somebody after or they haven't seen anybody since before.
Yes.
So now with this new wave, with everybody kind of being into their health and wellness, this is a new, like you said, preventative way.
Yeah.
Is there any type of limitations to it, like age limits or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, we're helping people in all kinds of age ranges around the country. And you talk about COVID, access is a huge problem. If you're more than 5 miles away from your doctor's office, your physical therapist, it's really unlikely that you're going to be able to really get there. Yeah. And when you're suffering from back pain, you got to get in the car, you got to get out of the car. So what we've really created is a telehealth capability to where you can meet your physician or your physical therapist just from your phone, from your laptop. We're really trying to create access for patients, anytime, anywhere.
How does this work for people of color? We
that's a
are
great question.
The worst at going to doctors. I could swear if I could grab my dad by his ear and twist it and take him and make sure he's okay, I would, but he won't allow it. And I know that so many people of color, especially men, they just don't want to take that step. It's like they almost don't want to hear reality, but they're spectacle. Like it's such a weird place.
Yes.
Like how do you guys deal with that?
That's an amazing question. One of the groups we've been building a partnership with is called Tinted Health. And so, when you think about minority patients, we try to match them with specialty networks that understand, the cultural, they're either from the same culture, they speak the same language, or have been trained to, through education protocols, trained on treating minority populations. And
that's amazing.
So that's
because that makes a huge difference. My parents are more likely to go to a Hispanic doctor,
exactly,
where my mom can actually really explain how she feels, rather than trying to explain it in English, but not really explain it well, and then get the wrong treatment at the end of the day.
Absolutely, and like you said, it's a language problem in a lot of states. We're seeing that be a big thing. We're really focused on, again, just creating access. If you're sort of an older person and you can't get there, doing it from your phone is a great option. And so what we've been working on and developing is in the AI space. Your question, I guess the original question is around tech. We built this app that when you set it up, just like making a TikTok video for people at home, it's really easy. You set your phone up, and when you do the exercises, it'll tell you, keep your back straight, keep your neck straight. We'll assess your baseline range of motion.
For my back straight. Posture. Like my mom would say, posture, shoulders back.
Yeah, so the whole concept is figuring out where a patient is in terms of baseline, and then matching them with the right person. So whether it's the therapist, the physical therapist, or the health coach, we match them with the prevention or the rehab side. And then we'll pair them. We created a product called Move GPT. It was the first large language model that actually could create a home exercise program based on computer vision data and your subjective text.
Wow.
So you go in, you say, hey, my back hurts, here's where it hurts, it radiates down my leg. And Move GPT will basically say, let's do an overhead squat assessment.
So I need that for my newfound sciatica, because after my birthday in April, there's this new present I got. It's called sciatica.
Yep.
I didn't know that existed. I saw it on TV, and old people talked about it all the time, but now I have it. So now it officially makes me feel old.
Jaylah, I've been through it. It's the worst. It's the worst feeling. It's hard to sit in a chair. Like when you're dealing with it,
For me, the hardest part is actually sleeping.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm cool. I could deal with it all day because I guess I move it around. But when I go to sleep, it's like, I'm like beating my leg to like go to bed.
You're exactly right. So I guess just, what we do for these, for people that deal with what you're dealing with is we'll put them through this assessment. Move GPT will make the program, and then we'll pair you with the telehealth coach to make sure that, AI is not hallucinating, because you see all this AI out there. We're not trying to replace coaches. We're not trying to replace physicians. We just want to do all that documentation so that they can see more patients every day. And for people like you and me that are suffering with that leg pain or that nerve pain, we don't necessarily have time to go in person 3 days a week. We maybe can go in once a week or once a month, get that hands-on.
I go see my nice little Chinese guy at the flea market that he gives me half an hour for $30. And it helps a little bit. But yeah, I get you. I mean, but that's realistic, especially here in the U.S. Unfortunately, we don't have the best health system, and me having a 9-year-old and going through different steps with her and her medical challenges, and me recently dealing through my medical challenges, I've seen how it hasn't been easy in the sense of like, if I didn't have insurance, or if I had another insurance, what would happen? Like, I couldn't take care of this.
So you bring up an amazing point here. I think what U.S. healthcare is doing a great job in moving towards is employer-sponsored health programs. So we're partnering with airline companies, trucking companies, manufacturing companies, so that the patient doesn't have to pay for it.
That's amazing.
We want to set it up so that all of this is paid for by your employer. When you go to work, you're confident that prevention and rehabilitation are going to be covered. And even for the senior population, the Medicare population, it's fully covered by our government. So, big shout out to U.S. Healthcare. I think they're making the right steps and moving in the right direction.
That direction.
And covering prevention, like we said. Prevention is what's going to drive costs down. Getting people healthier more quickly, getting them earlier access is what's going to drive costs down.
Yeah, because now, in the world that we live in with this inflation, let's be realistic. Even getting healthy food right now getting crappy food is unbearable.
Absolutely.
I was talking to somebody, we went to Taco Bell, and it was 2 meals, $33. I was like, what? But I know if I go to the supermarket, and I would have made that at home, it would have been $60, which is crazy that it's cheaper to go out and eat right now and eat crappy food than it is to go home and cook.
Absolutely. It's a huge problem, and I think nutritionists. I think a lot of people think of nutritionists as people you only see when you're really dealing with weight loss or
a big degree of like either you're like you need to lose a lot of weight or you need to gain weight or like it's some like eating disorder. It's never like we need to go through this because we're normal humans and you need to know about your nutrition.
Exactly. And what you said earlier, like, we see studies around bias, gender bias. You talked about, males saying, I'm going to tough this out, or, I'm just going to eat a ton of protein. There's a lot of that narrative. And I think, the new wave and where tech really plays into health is we now have data as to what's working. These wearables are telling us how much we should sleep and how what we eat and such will affect glucose levels and our heart rate and such. So all this new data is coming out, and I think people want to know this stuff. They want to know how they can take
It's
care
almost
of it.
like an okay card. Like, hey, I heard this and it's okay for me to want to take care of myself now. Like, hey, it's okay for me to sleep 8 hours. Like, that's what I should be sleeping for my health. And I know, like, I come from a family where it's like, I'm going to sleep when I die. Like, ooh, we got to work every day. And when we're not working, we got to be cleaning the house. And if we're not cleaning the house, we're doing other things for other people. And it's like, no, you need your 8 hours of sleep. Go lay down, cállate, and go to sleep. That's more helpful than what you are doing right now.
Yeah.
And it's a huge deal because a lot of people don't see it that way. My parents would be like, what do you mean you're sleeping? It's 8 o'clock. Get up, go wash some dishes. Like, what do you mean? I'm tired. I worked all day. Like, I mean, that's reality though, right?
Absolutely.
In the world that we live in. So that is kind of like that okay card where it's like, hey, listen, because I know a lot of, like, I have friends, shout out to Candy, that she does a lot of research on the brain and the brain's health, and a lot of her research is on sleeping only and how much that affects and changes kids and adults. And and I never realized that. I was a kid that was, no, I'm never gonna sleep. I'm gonna sleep through this, and I'm writing my research paper at 4 or 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, getting ready, going straight to school, and like doing all these things. And now I'm like only 30 something and I'm burnt out.
Yeah.
But why am I burnt out? For those same reasons.
I think a lot of people are looking for ways to feel better and not necessarily live. Everyone, you see all these aging platforms, they want to live forever, but I think it's really just about living better about for the time that we're here. And that's been our mission, really from the beginning, help people have the highest quality of life that they can while they're here on this planet.
I love it. So how can VCs or anybody who is interested in the platform, being a member of the platform, supporting the platform, how can they get in contact with you? How can they be a part of this? How can they sign up?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So if anybody's watching, and thank you for watching and being here with us, we are looking to, really free people from this chronic pain problem. And so if you want to support us, check out somatichealth.com, Soma, SOMATIC, somatichealth.com. And then you can send me an email, Kunal, KUNAL, @somatichealth.com. We're always looking for partners, health systems. If you're a provider that wants to kind of start helping people virtually and doing it in a more flexible way and just seeing more patients, come find us because we've got plenty that need you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kunal,
Thank
for
you,
being here
Jaylah.
with me. It's always such a good time. I'm mad that he didn't wear one of his cool glasses because I was really going to steal the pair this time and I didn't. But thank you guys all for being here. It's your girl Jaylah from Cultura. Once again, I love having these conversations. Stay tuned because we have many more to come. Bam, bam, bam.
Thank you.